Maayong adlaw, ¿cómo está? Ben from Philippines Extremes, coming to you from SM City at the Brick Modern Kitchen Restaurant. And I'm here with John. And John actually contacted me directly through my email because he wanted to speak a little bit about, I did an interview with Skipper. And shortly after that, he emailed me and said, why don't you talk to somebody who can tell what a real budget's like? So that's kind of where we started talking. And we finally got together so that we could do this interview together. So John, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself as well.
All right. My name is John Douglas Slocum. I'm originally from New York, lived in Florida, met my Filipino wife. Took 8 years to get over here to finally be with her, but we married. I moved here in October of 2023, and we've been having fun ever since. I just basically wanted to talk budgets and wish that some of these vloggers would be more realistic about living here on $1,000 a month. Now, I'm not on a high horse. If you can make it on $1,000 a month, that's fine, but I got a certain level of comfort, and I'm sure some other people do too, that would preclude living here on $1,000 a month. Full disclosure, between two sources, I have $5,200 a month coming in. We don't live like kings, but we live a nice life, better here than I would in the United States. And as I said, I just wish some vloggers would stop worrying about views and show us how you really live on $1,000 a month. Let's see the inside of your house, how it looks. Tell us how long it takes you to get a trip to the grocery store if you live in the province. 2-hour round trip, 3-hour round trip. These are the things I wish you would say so you could be more honest with people. If you want to live a low-key lifestyle, that's fine. Just I think some of these vloggers mislead people, and they should be more honest so they don't dupe somebody coming here to live and then that person finding out they didn't like it and turning around and going home. That's it.
Yeah, so pretty much you want a little bit more, in your opinion, authenticity in that regard. So, okay, John, so you say that, you can't make it on the 1K a month and you feel like that's just being kind of ridiculous on the pricing. So what do you think a comfortable budget should be for someone who wants to come move here?
If it was up to me and I did not have the current budget I have now of $5,200 a month, I would not move here on under $2,000 a month. I would earmark $1,000 for cost of a roof over my head, utilities, and health insurance. And then the other $1,000 would come out to $250 a week. That would give me a safety net if I needed to buy a vehicle or entertainment. I don't entertain much. We stay around the house most of the time. But I would be very comfortable with $2,000 a month.
So you think 2,000 would be a good monthly on that? See, and do you have any kids?
I have two grown sons from a prior marriage, but no children with my current wife.
No children with your current wife, and so you what part of the Philippines do you live in?
I live in Minglanilla, Cebu.
Minglanilla, Cebu, and do you own or do you rent your place?
We have a contract for sale. It'll be owned. It'll be ours fully in 2 years once the remaining balance is paid off. But for all intents and purposes, we own it.
So you're working on owning your home. So you're just making payments. That's good. That's good. And how do you like Minglanilla?
I love it. It's nice and quiet. The malls are maybe a half hour away tops. Our monthly taxi budget is half the price of a car payment. We don't technically need a car right now. We will get one in the future after the house is paid off. But right now, we're ideally situated. We can get to New Star Hotel in about 20 minutes. Very nice scenery, have nice neighbors. Life is sweet.
Very awesome. So, do you're here permanently for retirement? No plans to move back to the States and take your wife back over there to live at all? I mean, I know a lot of Filipinas, they kind of want to do that, but you and your wife aren't thinking that at all in the future.
No, whether I've yet to figure out whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, but I met one of the few Filipino women that do not want to live in the United States. We're fine for a visit. I'm going to take her to Disney World and see some of her relatives in the United States, do a meet and greet with my family. But she's happy with that, and she wants to live right here. Her and her mother are joined at the hip, and she's not going anywhere.
Hey, Lily, before you leave, is my hand like blocking anything? Can you see him? Okay, thank you. So, have you been to other places in the Philippines and kind of checked other places out? What made you settle in?
Minglanilla.
Have you been to other places besides that? What was it about Minglanilla that made you kind of plant roots?
We got a very, very good deal on a house. Um, we had looked at a couple of other places. We passed on the condos because most of them were overpriced shoe boxes, very small buildings for very high prices. Um, we were fortunate. One of my in laws knew somebody who found us a good deal on a 2 unit townhouse that was converted to one big unit. The minute we saw it, I jumped on it. The only thing I don't like about it is this horrid steel spiral staircase in the back. That's coming out. But other than that, the house is fine. Nice neighborhood. It's very quiet. It's very out of the way. And the last time I checked, since I've been living there full time in November, I think I'm the only foreigner in the subdivision.
Ooh, that's kind of nice. Well, depending on your opinion, but I didn't, me personally, I didn't come to the Philippines to hang out with foreigners, so that appeals to me. You being the only one, but how about you? Do you feel like you kind of miss being around people who speak your own language because you're the only one, or how does that affect you?
It's always nice to meet a fellow expat at the mall, but I found out that most tend to keep to themselves. Uh, I won't. I don't want to go out of my way and initiate a conversation with somebody because I don't like intruding in people's spaces. But if they nod or give me a smile, I'll say, "Hey, how you doing? Where are you from?" And if a conversation ensues, that's fine. But for the most part, I found most expats, tourists, they're in their own little world when they get here, and I don't try to intrude on it.
Have you been to other places in the Philippines?
We've been to Boracay, if I'm saying that right. Boracay, twice. Mostly just around. I've been to Bohol a couple of times. My wife's family's from there. My wife's a Cebu girl, born and raised, and we tend to stay around here. We do plan to go to Palawan, and once the house is paid off, we're going to do some international travel. Korea, Japan, Thailand, probably take a couple cruises and really enjoy my retirement. Right now, we budgeted a lot for the house to get it paid off quickly. I've been told by people, don't buy anything here, but there's something I want. There's a big age difference between my wife and I of 24 years. I'm 62, she's 38. When I pass, I want more than just a life insurance policy to give her. The home's an investment. We're going to be making a lot of improvements on it. Hopefully, she'll stay there for the rest of their life. If she doesn't, she could always sell it and move back to Bahal. The future's very fluid. We might buy property on Bahal, sell the house we have here, and build a house in Bahal Island. Who knows what the future brings? God never promises us tomorrow. So I just take it one day at a time.
That's right. That's right. So that's a good attitude. So for the most part, are you happy that you relocated to the Philippines from the U.S.?
Oh, yeah. My wife, she, if you could define best friend, I'd say she's my best friend. She's critical when she needs to be because I'm as dense as a stone up here sometimes when it comes to intuition and stuff like that. But she helps me out a lot. She's trying to teach me Visayan, but I have some TBI issues that make it hard to learn foreign languages. I struggle along. I know what Goas means. I know what Koripot means because I've been called one often enough. So other than that, she's doing very good at English. She's my go-to person, my guide. I'd say she's my left-hand person. I'm left-handed, so I always say she's my left-hand person. We get along great. She's a really good friend. Just wish she wasn't so superstitious.
Superstition. So that's been an issue, huh? I know some people are pretty. Some Filipinos are very superstitious. Like,
Well, it's not so much a superstition, maybe a life lesson. She used to live in Mambaling, Alaska, which is not a very nice place in Cebu City. A lot of house fires. A lot of people lose their homes to fires. So every night she goes through the house and unplugs every electrical device, shuts off every circuit breaker for the TV and the AC. And I wake up very early in the morning, 4 o'clock, sometimes 3:30, and I have to go through this ritual of turning everything on in the house just to make sure everything works. Other than that, she's fine. Actually, full disclosure here, I'm as bad as she is. My grandmother helped raise me, and she had all these old Irish superstitions. And my wife came home one day, went to the back. It was raining. She gets an umbrella, opens it up in the house, and I lost it. No, open umbrellas in the house. That's bad luck. Bought a new pair of shoes. She put them on the table. No, don't put shoes on the table. That's bad luck. So I'm as bad as her. She puts up with mine. I put up with hers. Everything's good. I converted to Catholicism for her so we could be both of the same faith. Makes life easier. I'm a big believer in the saying, happy wife, happy life. We make it work.
that's great. That's good to hear that you're enjoying your time here. So, any advice for somebody who may be considering moving to the Philippines, but maybe they're on the fence or kind of apprehensive? But would you recommend that they consider moving to the Philippines, or what are your thoughts on that?
You have to go where your heart goes, where your heart is. My wife wouldn't move to the United States. I wanted to be with her. I wasn't too enthused about leaving America to be with her, but I said I'd rather be with her in the Philippines than not be with her in the U.S. So I packed up and moved. Any advice? And this is something other vloggers have said. Take a couple recon missions. Don't sell all your stuff. Get on the first plane and come here. Come here first. Look at the real estate. Unless you have a lot of money, which once again, I gave you the full disclosure on my monthly. Unless you're making a lot more than $5,000 a month, don't buy a condo. I would suggest buying something if you're married to a Filipina, As a foreigner, you can't own land or a house here. You can own a condo. If you're by yourself, single, plan on staying here a year, sign a year lease. At the end of the year, make your decision to stay or go and take it from there. But you have to go where your heart tells you.
Yeah, that's good advice. Good advice. I recently met a guy who had never been to the Philippines before, and came here after selling off everything, and decided he hated it here. So good advice there. Any final thoughts, John?
All right. I never understood, nor will I understand, the appeal of Angeles City. It's a red light district. If you meet a bar girl there, a bar girl is just a nice word for a prostitute. Uh, Stay away from Angeles City. There's better places to go golfing. There's more beautiful places to see. Meet some real women that aren't interested in just your money. My wife stayed with me for 8 years when I was so broke I couldn't even pay attention. And then when I came into my pensions, as it were, uh, I wanted to reward her for her loyalty and faithfulness. Find the right person first. Don't jump into any relationships here. Philippines has 7,000 islands full of beautiful sights and beautiful people. Give it all a shot and just stay away from the pay for play.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster for sure. Well, John, I really appreciate you reaching out to me on my email and talking to me a little bit, and actually coming here and being forthcoming and straight up with your thoughts. And it's been a real pleasure to meet you, and I'm thankful that we actually got together and did this. I know I was in Mindanao, and your wife was out of town, and et cetera, et cetera. So it took a couple weeks before we could finally hook up, but we got her done.
Well, I'm glad for the time. Like I said, I'm not on a high horse or anything. If you can make it on 1,000 and that's the kind of lifestyle you want, God bless you, come here, go for it. But I think more realistically, $2,000 a month gives you a safety net. You're not covered by Philippine insurance here. You're going to have to self-pay if you get sick. So if you move here, budget in health insurance. I'm not paid by Pacific Cross, but they're a good company. At least look them up and see what kind of rate. The rates are age dependent. If you don't have a head full of gray hair like me, you'll probably get a better rate. But just be prepared before you come here. This isn't paradise. There's a lot of things here that cost more than the United States. And if you want to live a truly Western lifestyle, you will pay more for it.
That's true. That's true. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks, John, again for meeting up with me. And feel free to like this video and drop a comment. Sure that we'd love to hear what you have to say. And everybody out there, have a blessed day.